Yes. Yeah, yesterday we have started with learning what is operating system. What is operating system? It's a program that acts as an intermediary between the user of a computer and the computer hardware. That's what we have discussed yesterday, right? It's a program. Operating system is a program that acts as an intermediary between the user of a computer and a computer hardware, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, and this operating system will acts as a base for the application program, and it acts as a intermediary between the computer user and computer hardware. Okay, it will be base for the application programs, as well as it acts as an intermediary between computer user and computer hardware. And the main purpose of operating system is to provide the environment in which user can execute the programs in convenient manner and efficient manner. Those two are the goals, main goals of operating system. That's what we discussed yesterday. Okay, the goal of operating system is to provide environment to the user in such a way that user can execute the programs in convenient manner and efficient manner, depending on the system what they are using it. Okay, if you take an example of mainframe, where the mainframe computers, the operating system will be designed primarily to optimize utilization of the hardware. Okay, to utilize the hardware optimizedly, we design the operating system. Whereas in personal computing system, the operating system OS will support the complex games or business applications it will be supporting. So in such a way that operating system will be designed easy to use. Okay, convenient manner the operating system will be designed here. The in For the PCs, operating system goal is convenience. For the mainframe computers, the operating system goal will be efficiency. Okay, so depends on what type of system we are using, the operating system's goal will be changing. The mainly the purpose of operating system is to provide an environment in which the user can execute the programs in convenient and efficient manner. Okay, understanding? Okay, this is what we discussed yesterday, right? Operating system definition and goals of an operating system. Okay, now next we'll see what operating system will do. Okay, before going for what operating system will do, we'll discuss the computer system structure. Okay, so what the computer system will consist of. Usually the computer system can be divided into four components, that is hardware, operating system, application program, and users. Okay, computer system can be divided into four components here. Here the hardware means CPU, memory, IO devices that will provide the basic computing resources for the system. Okay, hardware will provide basic computing resources for the system. Whereas application programs, which will system and application programs are like compilers, web browsers, word processors, spreadsheets, that will define the way in which these resources are used to solve the user computing problems. Here the resources are nothing but hardware resources. Okay, this application programs will define the way in which the hardware resources are used to solve the user computing problems. Okay, for that application and system and application programs will be used here. Example for the system and application programs are compilers, word processor, web browser, database systems, calculator, also an application program. Okay, next we have another component in system is operating system. Okay, operating system will controls the hardware and coordinates its use among the various application programs for various users. Okay, it's operating system, what it will do, it controls the hardware and coordinates the resources to its users among various application programs for various users. Okay, here the operating system work is to just manage and coordinate in between the computer hardware and users of a computer. Okay, that will be done by operating system. Okay, we can say take an example for operating system, like operating system is similar to our government. What the government will do, like a government, the operating performs no useful function by itself. It will not do any resource, it won't provide any resource or something like that. Okay, by itself it won't do anything. Operating system will, like our government, it will not perform any useful function by itself. But what it will do, it provides an environment within which other programs can do useful work. Okay, it provides an environment in which user can execute the programs in convenient and efficient manner. For that, it creates the environment. Operating system, it won't do anything by itself, but it creates an environment where the programs can do useful work. Okay, that is the work of operating system in a computer system. And here we have another components in computer system is users. Users are nothing but people, machines, or other computers. We call it as users. You see here a diagram here, components of a computer system. You can see here we have users, system and application program. In between we have the operating system and hardware, computer hardware. Okay, where the operating system is placed, you can see, which is in between computer hardware and users, computer users. Okay, for this system and application programs, base will be the operating system. Okay, and the example for the system and application programs are compilers, web browsers, word processor, spreadsheet, calculator. These are all application programs. They will work for the users by using operating system. Okay, operating system will provide a environment for user to uh, execute their programs. Okay, using the hardware resources. Understood, right? Any doubts here? Okay, we'll go for next topic. Right, till now we have discussed definition of operating system. Okay, operating system is a program that manages the computer hardware. Okay, and it acts as a base for the application programs, and it acts as a intermediary between computer users and computer hardware. That is the operating system definition. And we have discussed the components of a computing system. Here we have four components of computing system, that is users, system and application programs, operating system, and computer hardware. Okay, next we'll see a different view of our operating system, like how operating system will be looks for the user, and how operating system will look for the system. Okay, first we'll see the user view of the operating system. For the user view of operating system, it delivering services to the user. Operating system, what will do, it delivers requested services to the user. Okay, and here the operating system provides necessary services to the user to execute programs efficiently and conveniently. What the operating system will do for user, it creates an environment where the user can execute the programs efficiently and convenient manner. Okay, by based on the type of computing device. That's what we have discussed, right? For a PC, the operating, like for personal computer, the operating system will be designed for ease of use. Okay, where some attention is mainly on performance here, not we don't concentrate on resource utilization for PCs, personal computers. Okay, here our main concentration will be ease of use. Whereas in mainframe or mini computers, users may access the same computer to different terminals. Okay, in mainframe computers, there will be many users. Many users will access the same computer by using different terminals. At this case, these users may share the resources and exchange the information here. Okay, for the mainframe computers, users will be accessing the computer from different terminals. They share the resources and they exchange the information. In this case, operating system is designed to maximize the resource utilization. Okay, we are not concentrating for personal computer operating system about resource utilization. Okay, only one person will be using the system, so we don't concentrate much about resource utilization in the personal computer. There we, our concentration is only ease of use. Okay, where the person will be using the complex games or business applications will be running on the personal computer. So our concentration operating system will be designed for convenience purpose. Okay, here in mainframe computers, the operating system will be designed for efficiency purpose. Okay, like some other, other cases, like the users will sit at the workstations connected to the networks of other workstations and servers, like the people who will be doing work from home. Okay, they will sit in their own network at the home. From using their home network, they will connect to the office network, and office computers they will be connected to, and they'll be working on office servers here. And these users have, they will be having some dedicated resources will be there, but they may also share the resources such as like networking and servers will be shared among the users here in this workstations. So here the operating system will be designed to compromise in between individual usability and resource utilization. Okay, that is the user view of an operating system. In user view of an operating system is to deliver the services to the user. Okay, depends on what type of computing device. Depends on what type of computing device, the operating system will be designed like that. Okay, next, in system view of operating system is a resource allocator and operating system is a control program. Okay, here the operating system will be in system view. Operating system will can be viewed as a resource allocator. Here a computer system has many resources, like what the resources of computer, it will be like CPU time, memory space, or file storage space, or IO devices. These are all the resources. Okay, here the operating system acts as a manager of these resources. Okay, these resources will be managed by the operating system and decides how to allocate these resources to the programs and to the users. How these resources will be allocated to the programs and users will be managed by the operating system here. Okay, and so that it will be, resources will be used efficiently, and fair resources usage can be done here by using the operating system. So for system view, operating system will be viewed as a resource allocator. Okay, understood this, why the operating system is called as resource allocator here? It manages the computer system resources. Okay, and it decides between conflicting requests for the efficient and fair resource use. Okay, whom to give, what resources to give, how much time the resource should be provided, all that will be managed by the operating system here. So the operating system is called as resource allocator in system view. Next, operating system is called as a control program. Why the operating system is called as control program? Which controls execution of programs to prevent errors and improper use of the computers. Okay, which will controls the controls the execution of the program. Okay, and prevents the errors. So, and improper usage of the computer also will be controlled by the operating system. Unauthorized access of resources, that will be denied by the operating system. So operating system is called as control program. Understood, right? User view and system view of operating system. In system view of operating system will be called as a resource allocator. Operating system is called as a control program, okay, which will controls the execution of a program will be controlled by the operating system. Understood, right? Yeah. Next, computer system organization. You might have studied this. Yeah, I think you might have seen this diagram in your CO, like how the computer system is organized. Okay, a computer system will have one or more CPUs and one or more device controllers connected through a common bus providing access to a shared memory. You can see here in this diagram, you'll be having a CPU and you have the controllers, device controllers, and all these are connected to a single bus. Okay, and that will be shared the memory. Okay, memory also is connected to the bus. All these will be connected to single bus here. Okay, and concurrent execution of CPUs and devices computing for the memory cycles will be done here. Okay, here in modern general purpose computing system, which will be consist of more than one CPU and number of device controllers connected to common bus, okay, providing shared access to the memory here. Okay, and CPU and device controllers can execute concurrently. Okay, that is at the same time CPU and device controllers can execute for memory cycles. Okay, they can compete for the memory cycles concurrently. Okay, and IO devices and CPUs can execute concurrently. Each device controller is in charge of specific type of device. Okay, each device controller is in charge of specific type of devices. You can see here disk controller, that is in charge for the disks. USB controllers, that will be in charge for the mouse, keyboard, printer, and all. Okay, each device controller is in charge for specific type of device. Understood, right? These you have studied this in CO. Okay, how the computer system is organized, I just repeated. That's it. Okay, a computer system will have one or more CPUs or number of device controllers. All that will be connected through a common bus, okay, providing access to the memory. That's what you need to remember here. Next, we'll see the computer system operation. Okay, here the IO devices and CPU can execute concurrently. That's what we discussed. IO devices and CPU can execute at a time, and each device controller is in charge of a particular device type. Okay, like USB controller is in charge of mouse, keyboard, and all. Okay, and each device controller has a local buffer will be there, and CPU moves the data from the main memory to the local buffer. Okay, each device controller will be having a local buffer. The CPU moves the data from memory main memory to the local buffer, or local buffer to the main memory also. The data will be transferred by the CPU here. Okay, and IO is from the device to the local buffer of a controller here, and device controllers informs the CPU that it has finished its operation by causing an interrupt here. It is interrupt driven. Operating system is interrupt driven. The device controllers will informs the CPU that once the operation is done, okay, that will be informed to the CPU by using an interrupt. Okay, now we'll see computer startup, how the computer will start up. Okay, like for a computer to start running, or like when a computer is powered up, okay, when you switch on the power, or when you reboot the computer system, an initial program called bootstrap program is loaded. Okay, when you power on the computer system, what will happen? The initial program which will load it to the memory is bootstrap program. Okay, that's called bootstrap program. Initial program which will be loaded is bootstrap program. Okay, and it is stored in the ROM, read-only memory, or electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. It will be stored. Okay, generally it is called as firmware. Okay, this is called firmware. Generally it is called as firmware. Okay, within the computer hardware it will be stored here. Okay, which is bootstrap program will be stored in ROM within the computer hardware. Okay, when it initializes all aspects of the system from the CPU registers to the device controllers to the memory contents. Okay, it initializes all aspects of the system, will be initialized by the bootstrap program. Okay, and it bootstrap program will loads the operating system kernel into the memory. Okay, the first software program which will be loaded to the memory is operating system. Okay, usually when you switch off the power, what will happen? Everything, the whatever you saved will be stored in hard disk, right? Once the bootstrap program is loaded, first thing what it will do, it will loads the operating system kernel into the memory and then starts execution. Okay, here the bootstrap program loads the operating system kernel into the memory, and then operating system will start executing the first process. That first process is called init process. Okay, we'll discuss this process management time. We'll discuss about this, what is process and what is init process and all. You just remember here, in operating system, the first process to run is init process. Only that you just remember here. And after running the init process, you just wait for event to occur. Okay, because the operating system, it is a interrupt driven. Okay, once understood here, once the computer start up, what will happen? The first program is loaded after the power up or reboot is bootstrap program. Bootstrap program will be loaded, and bootstrap program will be stored in read-only memory. After that, it initializes the all aspects of the system, and it loads the operating system to system kernel to the memory, and then operating system will starts executing. When the operating system starts executing, the first process to run is init process. Init is nothing but initialization process. Okay, we'll discuss about this when we discuss the process management. Okay, then after that, the operating system will wait for an event to occur. Okay, here the event is interrupt. Okay, so the operating system is an interrupt driven. Okay, we'll discuss about interrupt driven here. Here the interrupt transfers the control to the interrupt service routine, generally through interrupt vector. What the interrupt vector will consist of? It contains the address of all the service routines. Okay, you can think that here interrupt service routine is nothing but your some called procedure. Okay, it's some procedure. When you are running the program, if there is a function call is there, from that the control will automatically go to the where that function is, right? And after executing that function, again the control will come back to the main program, right? Like that, when an interrupt occurs, the control will go to that interrupt and executes that interrupt service routine, and then it will come back here. Here we'll be having the interrupt vector. This interrupt vector will consist of the address of all the service routines. Okay, all the service routines, where the service routines are placed stored in the memory, that address will be stored in the interrupt vector. Okay, the interrupt architecture must save the address of these interrupted instructions and incoming interrupts are disabled while another interrupt is being processed to prevent the loss of interrupt. Okay, incoming interrupts will be disabled while other interrupt being processed by the CPU to prevent the loss of interrupt. Okay, and here we have the word called a trap. The trap is a software generated interrupt caused either by the error. Okay, so here we use the word called trap. Trap is a software generated interrupt. Okay, in this book, wherever we say trap, you just think that it's a software generated interrupt. We call it as trap. Okay, and operating system is a interrupt driven. See, we have discussed that operating system is a interrupt driven. The occurrence of an event signaled by the interrupt from the hardware or a software. Okay, when an event occurs, that will be signaled by an interrupt from hardware or a software. Okay, hardware triggered interrupt by sending a signal to the CPU. Hardware will triggers the event about the event. Hardware informed the CPU by using a signal to the CPU, whereas software triggers the interrupt by executing a system call. We call it that is called as trap here. Okay, when CPU is interrupted, it will stop its execution. Okay, what it will do, when if you like a your main program and a method, when when the control is executing the main program, once it finds the function call, automatically the control will be transferred from this main program to the call function, right? It executes that call function routine and then it will come back. Like that, when CPU is interrupted, it stops its job. Whatever processing it is doing, it stops. Okay, Eh, and immediately it transfers the execution to the fixed location. Okay, execution will be transferred to fixed location. Here, the fixed location contains the starting address of a interrupt service routine. Interrupt service routine's starting address will be in fixed location from where the that interrupt method will be executed here. Okay, after completion of execution of that interrupt service routine, the CPU will resumes back. Okay, resumes it interrupted computation. Okay, it will execute the process what it was executing previously before interrupt request has come. So you can see here in this timeline, here we have a CPU and IO devices. IO devices will give you the IO request to the CPU here. Here IO device was idle that time, CPU was running some process. Okay, there is an IO request. One IO request is sent to the CPU as a interrupt. Okay, that interrupt is transferred to the CPU. Okay, after the transfer is done, the CPU, once it gets interrupted, it stops its whatever job it was processing it, and it will it will come to the interrupt service routine and it executes that interrupts. After completion of execution of that interrupt routine, it will again go back and executes its normal process. That's what it is doing it. After some time again there is another IO request. Once IO request comes, the IO device will transfer that request to the CPU. Okay, after once the CPU will get that IO request as interrupt, then it stops its normal execution. It will start executing that interrupt routine. After completion of executing that interrupt routine, again it will resume back to its interrupted computation. Okay, whatever it was doing previously, that will be executed.